Does what's happened at Real Madrid between Tchouameni and Valverde, does that put you off signing Tchouameni? I'll explain my opinion as this video goes on. But let me just run through everything for those who have missed what's happened, okay? A quick 90-second overview. This came out on Wednesday, that Tchouameni and Valverde kind of got into a bit of a scrap, kind of went into the locker room. All right, nothing's happened. Then on Thursday, the next day, it continued. And reports suggested that Valverde had been taken to hospital. And I was looking at it going, that's a bit crazy. Let's wait until someone actually that we know and trust comes out with a story. And then boom, David Ornstein. David Ornstein? He's Spanish now. David Ornstein. Saying that it did happen. And some detail from The Athletic here. The initial altercation occurred in training on Wednesday, so the reports were correct. Multiple sources confirmed it was instigated by Valverde with a strong tackle, went into the dressing room. During the argument, Valverde fell, hit his head on a table, and was taken to hospital. Now, Fabrizio Romano went a little bit OTT, quote unquote, a traumatic brain injury. I don't know whether that's a medical definition of I've hit my head and there's a bit of blood coming out of it. But he went to hospital. Real Madrid then released an official statement saying, yeah, look, there's going to be, what they call it, disciplinary proceedings against both of them. Valverde then released a statement on Instagram saying, look, I didn't hit him. You know, nothing happened. He didn't hit me. I didn't hit him. You know, sorry about this. And then more information has come out today, which you might not know about, from The Athletic in terms of exactly what happened. Right? On Thursday, Valverde came into the training ground, shook hands with everybody apart from Tchouameni. Sources said in that day's session, Valverde hit Tchouameni with a series of strong tackles to which he did not react. The training session saw players divided into two sides. Coaching staff kept Valverde and Tchouameni together. Valverde was in his ear. After the session, back in the training room, Tchouameni then asked Valverde to come over. He insulted him, and he lumped him. Bang! The little Tchouameni 1-2. Well, if you want to get some fight into midfield, then you've got it there. But everything is suggesting that it was Valverde who sort of instigated whatever went on. And getting back to it, honestly, I think this is really true. I don't see how Tchouameni and Valverde are going to be Real Madrid players next season. Of course, they could kiss and make up, release statements, etc. But given how volatile that Real Madrid fan base is at the best of times, after 2 seasons where they haven't won anything, and they're about to probably give the league to Barcelona in the Nou Camp, if that was in a Bernabeu, it'd be like Civil War. Not Civil War, straight up war. I don't see how more change isn't going to happen. And I don't see how there's going to be Real Madrid fans that hold on to this forever. I don't see how both of them play for Real Madrid next season. Which means Real Madrid are going to have a choice to make. And from a United perspective, and a choice that we're going to make, right? Tchouameni. You could look at this if you wanted to. Right, let's play devil's advocate here. Oh, Sam, do we really want someone who's hot-headed like Tchouameni in there? And I'd be like, well, hold up here. Let's rewind. Tchouameni, when he broke through at Bordeaux, was there any conversations or any stories or reports about ill discipline, bad behaviour? There were none. What about Monaco? There were none at Monaco. What about in the 4 years that he's been a Real Madrid player? There's not really been anything. There's been questions about him as a player because, unfortunately for Tchouameni, he came into a Real Madrid team and then had to try and replace Kroos and Modric and Casemiro, arguably one of the best midfields that Real Madrid have ever had. So that was almost an impossible task. But no real questions about ill discipline or hot-headedness, and nothing with the French national team either. Up until this point and this situation with Valverde, nothing ever has really been said about Tchouameni from a hot-headed perspective, or he's rash, or he's ill-disciplined, or he's going to be a problem in the dressing room. Not for the national team, not for any team he's played for. I look at Tchouameni, and I still do, and I go, would I like to see that at Manchester United next season? You are damn right I would. This does not even slightly give me a red flag. Now, you might say that's naive, but I don't think it is. And the more that the story develops, as I said, I've ran through it from The Athletic there, it seems like Valverde was the instigator, and that not all... Maybe Real Madrid is just... Real Madrid is Real Madrid, man. Like, there aren't many clubs that can compete with the spotlight of Manchester United, but Real Madrid is on its own pedestal. Everything's fiercer there. They booed Ronaldo for like not scoring in like 2 or 3 games or whatever it was. Anybody can be booed at any one time. I still look at this and go, would that midfield work at United? It would be incredible. And I also look at this now, and it's what I mean when I titled the video. Things have changed. If 2 weeks ago I sat there as a United fan and I looked at Tchouameni and went, I mean, I'd love to sign him, but odds on us actually being able to pull it off, quite slim. Because how many times across the course of history have Real Madrid almost been forced to sell a player that they didn't want to sell? Rare. Very rare. Now, in this situation, it kind of feels like they're going to have to choose. Valverde, who's one of the club captains, probably gets kept. I mean, I don't know. I don't know in that sense. Maybe they can both stay. But if I'm Manchester United now and I'm looking at this situation, I'm going, well, that's something to take advantage of. It's fair to say that the feathers have been ruffled. It's fair to say that all is not well at Real Madrid. And if United wanted to, I think we take advantage of this opportunity. I think we go in with a bid. Because now they're going to be far, far more susceptible. There might be calls from fans. There's clearly going to be like so much change at Real Madrid this year. And they might have big bloody Jose Mourinho back in, which really is hilarious. But 2 years without a trophy at Real Madrid is like a rip everything up and start again. Oh my God, the world is collapsing sort of levels. That's just the way that club operates. But yeah, I don't look at this whole situation and think, oh, that completely puts me off the idea of signing Tchouameni. I wouldn't say it makes me want to sign him anymore, but I wanted to sign him before it, and I still do now, and I still look at that midfield and think, my word, wouldn't you love to see that at Manchester United next season? Now, you can let me know what you think in the comments. That's the sort of like the story of what's happened between Valverde and Tchouameni covered. And as I said, and as I asked, does it change your view on whether he'd be a good signing for United or not? Let me know.